Are you going places or left behind because you don't have a travel companion? Listen to how you can travel more independently. Dr. Travel Best will bring you the best answers, tips, and hear mistakes so you can benefit.
Welcome to Dr. Mary Travel Best's Independent Travel Guide, a special episode for women like you who need a little extra support traveling the world, one woman at a time. In this episode, the FAQ is, what is independent travel? The destinations are Zion and Bryce Canyon National Parks, Utah. The mistake is booking round-trip tickets automatically, and the travel tip is a quote from a known independent traveler. What is independent travel? That's the FAQ. I get this question all the time. There are three kinds of independent travel. First, independent, not with a tour guide. Second, semi-independent, that's on a cruise or excursion. And the third is solo. The last one is truly on your own. Just you on the road. This podcast and book is focused on any one of these three options for independent travel. Get power over your life and build your confidence with travel. Today's destinations, Zion and Bryce Canyon, Utah, USA, a special independent trip. It's independent of a tour or guide. So let me tell you the story. Most of our family went independently on a 4,500-mile minivan road trip that started in San Diego and went as far as Jasper, Canada, and the glaciers of Alberta. There were 5 of us, all one family, who ventured out the day after school was out for summer break. We had every kind of weather condition you could imagine during this 17-day trip, from hail in Yellowstone Park as soon as we set up our tent, to very high winds, to big rain nearly every day, to 97-degree desert heat in California. I kept a notebook along the trip to remember the details as best I could. But your trip will be yours to keep and remember. We traveled day 1 in mid-June to Zion National Park. It's close enough to Southern California that you can leave at 3 a.m. and still get a full day hike that day. If you haven't been to Zion, you'll find the treasure. Limited cars are allowed inside the park. And note that the shuttle buses are not currently running during COVID-19, so check ahead of time. Normally, the rangers keep cars out of the park as much as possible. From April through November, the free park shuttle is slow, but preferred. No cars really go past Canyon Junction, except to the lodge. And the lodge is a nice resting spot if you don't want to hike. Our show notes will have all the info you need on the park, shuttles, and more. Once in the park, and you go on up to the highest spot, you have a chance to take off your shoes and do the river walk and wade through chilled water, which is delightful, especially when it's really hot in the park. The temperature in June at 7 a.m. was 92 degrees. So if you get there before 7 a.m., you may even get free admission. Either way, start early. Observation Point was a 3-hour round-trip hike for me. Your time may be different. You will see Grand Canyon-like views here. Water falling over sheer precipices may sound nice, and it looks even better than that. Look for the Narrows. This is a refreshing hike, and you can go as far as you want and then just turn back. Be sure to check weather conditions and dress in layers. Now, Bryce Canyon, we went there the next day, and it's only 90 minutes from Zion. That hike was also delightful. Check out Ruby's Diner for a great breakfast. You can even book a rodeo adventure here. So Bryce is named after Ebenezer and Mary Bryce. It's a colorful place with these strange-looking hoodoos, which are spire-shaped rock forms that remind me of what it would look like on a different planet. I'm certain you will smile when looking at them. The favorite overlooks are Sunrise Point, Sunset Point, Inspiration Point, and Bryce Point. You can visit twice at both sunrise and sunset for the best views. And it's easy to drive along the 18-mile path and see the entire canyon with stops along the way. Smelling and viewing the many ponderosa pines will inspire and delight your senses. Hiking the rim trail is not too difficult for a moderate hike, and many flat spots are at the top of the rim. Now for today's mistake: booking round trip without thinking it through. Instead of booking round trip, I should have booked 2 one-way tickets. My mistake was I went to Barcelona, and once I got there, then I flew to Madrid. I should have booked my trip home from Madrid instead of going back to Barcelona and then back to the US. So I wasted some time, nearly a day in transit and in time booking the trip back, plus accommodations and airport travel. So if you buy 2 round-trip tickets, they may be even cheaper than a round-trip ticket. So try that on your next international trip. Today's travel advice. I've got a quote from Anthony Bourdain, who wrote on travel. Quote, "It seems that the more places I see and experience, the bigger I realize the world to be. The more I become aware of, the more I realize how relatively little I know of it, how many places I still have to go, how much more there is to learn." Maybe that's enlightenment enough to know that there is no final resting place of the mind, no moment of smug clarity. Perhaps wisdom, at least for me, means realizing how small I am and unwise and how far I have yet to go. I want to bring meaning to your travel as Dr. Mary Travel Best. Send me your travel tip or question to my Facebook page, group, Instagram, Twitter, or blog, and maybe you'll see your tips in my next travel book on independent destinations. What's on your bucket list?
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travel Best, that is.